So in this video, we're going to go over abandoned pig tasks. There are a couple kinds, but we're going to start with the one that is by far the most prominent and the one that creates the most trouble. So what we have here is a list of everything where it was picked, but nothing was staged. You'll notice here these do have a staging bin. We'll get to that in just a second. But what happens whenever something is picked but not staged in the tablet? And what I mean by that is the picker goes up to the bin, and in the tablet, they select the item, they select the bin, they enter the quantity, but then they don't hit that white button with the blue text that says go to staging. Whenever that doesn't happen, only the available is relieved from the bin, but not the on hand. So we'll use this as an example right here, this MXH7. We'll go to this pick task. Staging bin is blank. Inventory detail is picked from 0924A. Okay. So if we go in to this item record and look at the inventory detail, I'm going to hit Alt-I here and jump to that tab. 0924A, we have 59 on hand, but 50 available. There are physically 50 in that bin. There are not 59. So what happened was it was picked, it wasn't staged, so the fulfillment did not create automatically, and then somebody went in and did a blue button fulfillment. And whenever we do that, we lock ourselves into this situation where we need to be able to write these 9 out of inventory, but we can't. Well, in this case we could, but a lot of times you would see maybe a 9 on hand and a 0 available. It just so happens there was more than 9 in this bin when the 9 were picked. So we need to get the 9 that were picked but not staged. They're sort of nowhere. They're in the ether. We need to get them back into this bin so that we can correct our inventory and get it straight. So in order to do that, we are going to use a reverse pick. So we come here and we look at our wave number. We're going to go WMS outbound, picking, and then reverse picks. We'll select our location and our transaction type. Then that wave number was 1195. So this shows us everything that we could reverse. I'm going to sort by status twice, actually. And you'll see here picked, picked, picked. And if you look closely, these are the 3 items that correspond to the ones on this report for this wave. So I'm going to come in and I'll just do one to show you sort of what happens. So I'm going to click check that box, hit submit. It confirms that it was reversed. So now if we come back, let me look at that pick task, you'll see it's filled in a staging bin for us. It's changed the status to done. Now, obviously this was never staged, and I mentioned I would explain why these populate here. That is because it can't just reverse the pick. It actually has to push it all the way through to staging and then put the available and the on hand back in the bin at the same time. So that's what we have going on there. So this is done now. We could go in there. Now we have our on hand and our available matching. And then what needs to happen now on Irving's side is the adjustment down needs to happen because that stuff was fulfilled with the blue button. It's not physically in the warehouse anymore. So they need to adjust that quantity now out of this 0924A bin. So we will run through that just one more time. Again, WMS outbound, picking, reverse picks, location, transaction type, no wave or transaction number. We're going to look for these that say picked, Check those boxes and submit. And now all of that inventory is both on hand and available back in that bin so that we can make our necessary corrections to our inventory.